What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one, I go over some big news on the Jaishawn Barham targeting appeal as it has been denied, where Michigan will go from there. Plus, we got some big injury updates on Rod Moore, Hogan Hansen, Andrew Sprague, and much more. Plus, Sherrone Moore previews the big matchup against Oklahoma. Also, his thoughts on true freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood's first career start at Michigan, what they're going to have to do to help him in his first start on the road. And he also talked about the cornerback play, players ready to step up in the linebacker room, plus a Michigan edge who is going to be scary in the future. We also go over a big twist in the NCAA investigation onto Michigan. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so before we do go ahead and get into this video, first I want to mention that I do have a podcast now where you guys can listen to the audio of my videos. So if you guys want to check it out, follow me there, listen to me on there. Should be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. So did just want to mention that. But let's go ahead and get right into it here. And I first wanted to start this video by talking about the Jaishawn Barham targeting appeal, as it has been denied and he will be missing the first half of the game against Oklahoma, which is obviously a big loss for the Wolverines. Sherrone Moore did say in his press conference yesterday, he said it was upheld and we don't agree with it. Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti doesn't agree with it. It's a rule we have to get changed, and we have to look at in college football just for the general toughness of the game and how you want to teach tackling, how you want to teach guys that are 6'3" tackling a guy that's 5'8". But they said that they got to move on. They will be without him in the first half though, and he did say that linebacker room, those guys will step up. It's a deep room, and we're happy we got those guys. But obviously, Jaishawn is an impact guy that we'll have ready for the second half. This obviously opens up the door for Jimmy Rolder and then also Sullivan, who had a big impact in the game, late in the game in the fourth quarter against New Mexico, had not only an interception but also a sack. It's a guy we've been raving about for quite some time now, but make no mistake, Jimmy Rolder is also a second starter in this linebacker room for the Wolverines. But along with those two, you also got Troy Bowles, who also had a sack on the final play of the game against New Mexico. So Michigan's going to be fine in the first half. It's obviously going to suck to be without Barham, but these linebackers will definitely step up. And then I also wanted to talk about some injury updates here for the Wolverines ahead of the Oklahoma game. But first, football season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. And football has never been more exciting in the NFL now, with players like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, my Detroit Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, etc. You can pick on stats for these stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to a 100 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right and you could win big. Use promo code MST and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. So download the #1 sports app today. Experience it for yourself. Link in the description. Use promo code MST and earn up to a $100 match on your first deposit. But let's go ahead and continue here. Talk about some injury updates. We'll first start with sophomore tight end Hogan Hansen, as he said, I feel like Hogan is probable. I feel like we've got a real good shot for him to play this weekend, and we'll get him practicing full speed again. He's been practicing full speed, getting contact, doing things, but we've been very cautious with all that. And then as far as Rod Moore, he said, I'd say it's questionable, possible. We'll see how he feels. So Michigan should get Hogan Hansen back, which is big. And then as far as Rod Moore, though, don't know if he will be playing against Oklahoma. If he does, it would be absolutely huge for this defense and in the secondary. We've talked about it before. He is basically the quarterback for this defense. And obviously in the game against New Mexico, the defense did struggle at times a little bit. Granted, one of the drives was on Jaishawn Barham's targeting call. They got a lot of penalties, a missed incomplete pass on third down that led to eventually a touchdown. And Michigan also played 31 players in the game against New Mexico on defense, which is a pretty crazy amount of players, and probably won't be seeing that against Oklahoma. I do think Wink Martindale, is going to definitely step it up. This defense will step it up against Oklahoma, and we're going to really see what we got on defense here in week 2. But Sherrone Moore also gave an update on Andrew Sprague's health. He said that he was just cramping, a little cramp, but he's fine. He's been phenomenal. So Andrew Sprague did leave the game early, but seems like he was just cramping up. Should be good to go for the Oklahoma game. And then Sherrone Moore also spoke on the Oklahoma game here on scheduling, marquee non-conference games. He said it's necessary, I think. I think you have to have matchups like this in college football. 2 blue blood programs going at it on a national stage. It's why you come to Michigan. It's probably why you go to Oklahoma. But I spoke on John Mateer, Oklahoma quarterback. He said he's a gunslinger. People keep comparing him to Baker Mayfield because he's a shorter quarterback, but he's got his differences. He can run the football. He can make every throw off schedule throws. So we've got to do a good job of keeping him off schedule. Then on the, Oklahoma defense, he said, I know they're going to be fast. I know they're going to be physical, and they're going to be fundamentally sound, and they're going to try to tackle as well as they can. Our job is to try and make them miss and be explosive on offense. And he said the position group really that can take the most pressure off Bryce Underwood is obviously going to be the offensive line. They've got to set the tone, and I think they'll be up for the challenge. Obviously, Underwood, though, will have to settle in the noise and only focus on his job and the other 10 guys on the field with him. That's what Sherrone Moore said when Michigan takes on Oklahoma. It's going to be his first road test here against Oklahoma. Sherrone Moore was on Inside Michigan Football Radio Show and talked about Michigan's cornerback play. He said, I thought pretty well. We had a couple plays. Those touchdowns were just eye violations. Things that we have to fix with Josiah Edmond and Jair Hill. But overall, Jair Hill played really well. So did Josiah Edmond. But Zeke Berry played really well. Did have some, penalties on the edge with the pass interference. There was one that was out of bounds. But those guys played physical, which we really wanted them to do. This Michigan secondary, especially this cornerback room, very, very young. They're only going to get better this season. Zeke Berry, I think, had the best game for a Michigan cornerback. He played a clean game. But, again, I do think we're going to see this defense ramp it up. Wink Martindale is going to ramp it up a little bit more against Oklahoma. And not as many players are going to be playing in this Oklahoma game. Michigan's definitely going to need the defense to step up here, help the offense out, help true freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood settle into the game. But definitely also can't wait to see this Michigan offense go up against this Oklahoma defense. Should be a good matchup right there. And, we talked about Cole Sullivan being a young player who shined out there on the field against New Mexico, which we kind of, all expected from him. We knew the potential going into this season that he had. But how about the true freshman edge, Nate Marshall? He recorded 2 quarterback pressures on 17 pass rush snaps. Also hit the quarterback Jack Lane that caused the throw to be intercepted by Cole Sullivan. I tell you what, Nate Marshall is going to be the next great edge here at Michigan. This is a guy that wasn't even an early enrollee. He just got to campus and he's already making an impact out there. And he was making some buzz, in fall camp. He was one freshman that was turning some heads. And TJ Guy said on Inside Michigan Football Radio Show that, he said that, I told Nate, bro, just do what got you here. Don't overthink nothing. It's the same game. Just be you. And he did that and he made some flashes. He's going to be a scary player for the Big Ten. Even Wink Martindale said that he's going to be a name everybody's going to be talking about. You could see it from day one. And then Sherrone Moore also talked a little bit more on Bryce Underwood in the, Inside Michigan Football Radio Show, and he said with 21 to 31, you would think, he missed 10 passes, but I think there were about 5 drops in there and just a couple missed throws. He said the poise going in on that 2-minute drive as a true freshman to make that throw on 3rd and 14. I've watched it over and over again. It was an incredible throw, incredible play. We just continue to be like, okay, he's different. He's really, really different. He didn't look like a freshman at all. We obviously all saw it. The poise he had, the confidence he had, there were no first game jitters whatsoever. And Sherrone Moore said, he goes to the sideline, he's as poised, as calm I mean, you think he's played for 3 years in college football, and it was awesome to watch the kid go out there and have fun with his teammates. And now he's got the biggest challenge yet upcoming here as a Michigan Wolverine, going on the road against Oklahoma. But you already know the true freshman who just turned 18 in August has got to be ready for this challenge and excited to go up against Oklahoma on the road. And to end this video, I do want to give a pretty big update actually on the NCAA investigation onto Michigan and all that. Don't really want to spend too much time on it because it is football season now, but obviously Michigan, did announce it would appeal the decision from the NCAA, and according to CBS News Detroit, they've been provided information from a private investigator that shows that the student athlete who lied to the NCAA about Partridge is the same student athlete who recorded a phone call with Stallions without his consent. And the private investigator also informed CBS News Detroit that the student athlete and the campus source are the same individual who was a former player on the team. And a Dearborn, Michigan attorney who has been following the developments closely said he believes Michigan could win its appeal in state court. So a big twist right there. Just wanted to mention that. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.